Welcome to Real Talk with Lamin. Today I'm joined with Tracy J. Hoffman. Tracy has an international background and experience in international development and connection across Africa and Asia. She has also worked with SIDA training programs and he is passionate about human rights, quality, and speaking up against racism. Today we are going beyond politics and label to talk about her journey, international development, human rights, racism, and what it means to use your voice for positive change. Tracy, welcome to Real Talk with Lamin.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you have worked with international development and training programs for some countries, for some of the world's latest development countries. And what did that experience teach you about people and the development?
Yeah, so before I started my business, used to work for the Swedish Patent and Registration Office,
Okay,
and we had training programs in cooperation with SIDA and WIPO in
okay,
IP.
okay.
And we invited 14 different countries. So we had
Uh-huh.
participants from Africa and Asia, 14 countries, and we put all these people in a classroom. So you see
Okay.
what happens when you have people with different religion, different
Uh,
culture, and different background. And what you see instantly is that when you have a common interest like intellectual property,
mhm.
we're all just human. Everyone get along just fine. There's no issues between anyone. There was like in 6 years, I met
Mhm.
I think 500 people,
Okay,
and there was issue with one participant during all those years.
okay.
And we also had one part in Sweden and one
Mhm.
part in their countries. So we traveled also a lot to Africa and Asia.
Okay.
And I also, the first thing I noticed when I went to Africa the first time, which was Uganda, never
Uganda,
been to
okay.
Africa before,
Okay.
um, went on the airplane to on Ethiopian Airlines,
Okay.
and it was only two white people on the plane.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, oh, this is like what African or Asian or anyone experience when they come to
Mm.
Sweden. You go into a room and you're the only one that
Oh,
doesn't look like
black.
anyone else.
Exactly. Yeah.
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 So that was the first time in my life that I was like, oh, I'm the exception here. I'm different.
Ah.
Yeah.
So when you talk about CEDA, can you give us more detail about CEDA? What CEDA stand for?
Yeah, so see that's the Swedish. Now I don't remember the short, but it's development work for different countries. So
Okay.
all the Swedish people, taxpayers,
Hmm?
pay money to SIDA to help developing countries. So Sweden have done a lot of work in Africa and Asia,
Okay.
and other.
Yeah.
They also have been helping in war zones or if the
Ah.
crisis. So we have a lot of like charity, like not charity work, but like development work.
Hmm.
So
So
that
meaning it is an organization that help undeveloped countries.
it's actually a government organization.
It's a
So
government organization.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's funded by the government, and it's also like people working on our embassies usually come from.
Uh-huh.
It's also SIDA employees on our embassies all across the world. So it's an organization here that's funded by Swedish taxpayers that then help other
Mhm.
countries in
So
different things.
so is CEDA still running? Is still functioning?
Yes, but I think it was yesterday or the day before they cut funding a lot. They've cut the
Okay.
funding to Tanzania. That has been
Okay.
like a cooperation for 30 years, I think, or something with
Uh-huh.
Sweden, and they are
Right.
cutting to Zambia, and I don't remember what countries it is. So because we have right wing parties,
Okay.
influencing Sweden right now, and they are cutting a lot of international funding. So I don't know how SIDA development work will be in the future. I guess it will depend on the elections, what
Mhm. But
priorities.
but is there any reason why the cut ties with those countries? Is there any reason? Like why they stop, having association with those country, you know?
So I only heard like a short,
Mm-hmm.
announcement about this being said, that they say it's not efficient enough. And I
Uh-huh.
can I can kind of agree. I went to they talked about, like, for Tanzania, it was
Huh?
about like evaluating the development work in Tanzania, and we have been there for many, many, many years. And
Okay.
they, at that time, this is 10 years ago when I went to that seminar, they could see that there was not really a lot of change, a lot of development through all the
Uh-huh.
years they have been
Uh-huh.
working there. So they were like asking themselves, if we didn't work there, would it be, less? Did we
Huh?
still make a change? Would they be worse off if we didn't help at all, or would it be the same? Has it really have the impact that we want? Because it's difficult with charity work, and that's what I mentioned to you, that I believe
Mhm.
sometimes we're in business than in charity work,
Yeah.
because when you go in and help people, sometimes they have something they call in SIDA, cause no harm.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
sometimes when you go in and help people, when you have to withdraw the help, then they are worse off than when you came in the first place.
Yeah.
So there's one example. There's a place that they sent a lot of clothes to them. Like, there was some emergency, so they sent a lot of clothes, free clothes, to
Mm-hmm.
all the people living there.
Okay.
And then something happens, and they have to, withdraw that service and go somewhere else and help.
Mm.
Now when they left, they don't have any tailors, they don't have any shoemakers, they don't have anyone to make and sell clothes in the area, because everyone that was doing it as a business are now out of business, because people are getting it for
Uh-huh.
free.
Mhm. But I know, those countries, Tanzania or Kenya or Uganda, or I think they will feel somehow bad, because the connection between SIDA and them is not there anymore, and they are not getting that help, at your own, personal view, what do you think those people will be feeling without not getting those help? Because for many years they have been getting that kind of help, for many years, and now suddenly everything stopped. It gonna affect them, for some, so for few years, because they are not getting any help from SIDA anymore. What do you think, will affect them? The challenges they'll be going through.
Yeah, so I think it's going to affect not only them, also the Swedish people that been working there for many years, helping them, because it's
Hmm.
a
Yeah.
long time work to do things like this. And I'm not sure like what the impact will be yet, because the countries they announced was yesterday, right? So
Uh-huh.
but I think that, as I said, when they withdraw the funds from something that have been helping for many years, it can be a
Yeah.
very big impact on the area before they like get the resources themselves. So but
Yeah,
sorry if there's
exactly.
sound in the background. But for SIDA,
Nice, nice. The lot.
it's my cats. So for SIDA, there's they usually try to learn, like, teach people to do things themselves. So hopefully,
People, yeah.
if they have done
Yeah.
the work the way they should, then it's fine, because then they have local resources to take over the work. But it
Yeah.
depends on how they have been working the last years.
But that's good, SIDA is helping now. So what about in Asia? Are they working with some, still working with some Asian countries?
Yeah, I think so. But so I used to work with SIDA, and it's been many years, so I'm not really updated on the latest news, what
Aha,
countries they
okay,
are in right
okay.
now, because now I run my own business and, work
Business.
international
Aha.
as well with Asia and Africa. So this is was before my business. So I'm not, but we
Ah,
did
okay,
have a
yeah,
lot of
okay, okay.
operations there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But here is a personal question. You talk about, your first day going to Uganda, only two white people inside the flight. What was that experience? Your first time going to Africa, and maybe you hear before you go to Africa. Many people talk about, Africa. It's not good. So many things happen there. And you going
Yeah.
there for the first time. What was going in your mind? At that
Yeah,
moment,
I
your
was
experience, about Africa.
honestly, I was a bit scared, because
Uh-huh.
Just read in the news before going there that they had something called the miniskirt law, right? So you're not allowed
Mm-hmm.
to have clothes that are sexual appealing, right? You're not allowed to have too short skirts or too tight clothes, or something. And I'm like,
Wow.
how do I dress when I go there, right? So, so I was overdoing it. I was overdoing it
Yeah.
because I mean, people dress like normal there. I would say like it's not very like it's not like a strict Muslim country where you cover everything, right? But
Mm,
I was like having a long skirt and long shirt and everything because also I'm traveling there representing Sweden, so I have
mm,
to also really manage to behave the way that I'm supposed to be, to try to fit not fit in, but to be
yeah,
respectful to the
exactly. Yeah,
country.
yeah. Mm,
So yeah, so I was a bit scared, and I was also a bit scared when I was like the only one on the plane. I was like, wow, this is so strange. It was so crazy. And I also went to Uganda because my first business I started was in
yeah.
Uganda,
Uganda, okay.
and I was meeting my business partner in a shopping mall in Uganda,
Mm,
and also there I was the only white person in the whole shopping mall.
yeah.
So, and we haven't seen each other for a while. So I was joking with him, like texting him, yeah, you know how to find me. I'm the one with the red t-shirt.
Ah.
It's like no way I would fit in there. So yeah, so it was a bit strange the first time because I'm always used to being the norm, I always fit
Mm,
in, blend in. So took a while to get used to that when I was traveling. Same
yeah.
same in Asia, actually, in Myanmar, because
Mm,
the people there are very short compared to European people. Like I'm
yeah.
also pretty tall. I'm 168 centimeters, so I'm pretty tall.
Okay. Yeah.
So went into a store in Myanmar, and all the shelves is at this height, so I can see the whole store. So everyone's like stopping and staring, and some people like stop us to take pictures. So we didn't fit in there either. So it's not only in Africa we stand out.
But 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 okay, with all this experience and what you read about the news before going to Africa, now you are in Africa. I mean,
Yeah.
do you believe what the media, what you hear on the media, and you are in Africa? Do you believe, what they say about Africa is true? Like, because,
No.
the reason why I say that there are many, Western people, first time traveling to Africa, they have to search, for information. For example, I'm going to Gambia. Oh, I need to search for Gambia. Oh, Gambia. Maybe somebody have a bad experience in Gambia, and they thought that all Africans are like that. I think they have that misconcept about Africa. But for you,
Yeah.
on your case, you are in Africa now. After
Yeah.
all, the news, what do you feel?
Yeah, so also something you think when you see Africa on the news, or at least
Mhm,
before, you
mhm.
always see starving people in a desert. Uh,
Exactly.
and the first country I went to is Uganda. That's very, very green. Everything is green
Yeah.
everywhere. It's really beautiful. Nature is amazing in Africa. All the African countries I visited had
Yeah.
amazing nature. And I visited the capitals, and the capitals are the same as here, it's modern
Yeah.
life, it's city
Yeah.
people. So it's not like someone is living on the countryside in something built out of grass or whatever, like because you have like this image
Mm.
from TV that's not good of Africa, and it's not the same. And also, like, one of my favorite places in the world is Zanzibar. Like, the beaches there are just amazing, like the crystal clear water, white beaches, everything. And
Yeah.
it's not marketed the same way as other places that have similar
Mm.
beaches. And so
Mm.
so yeah, it's a lot of work that needs to be done in marketing when it comes to Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, one thing that was a bit strange to me, and actually a bit uncomfortable, was that I get treated way better because I'm white. I noticed that, like, we were going on a flight, on a small local flight,
Mm.
and they were checking all the African people, like, for security. And for us, they just waved us past the line and just, didn't check us at all. And that was also in Uganda, like the first trip I was, and I was like, that was very strange to me that they would treat people different.
Mm,
So,
they do that. I don't know, but they really do that. They treat
yeah.
Western people differently than their own people. We happen, and compared to us coming here, they treat us different. That's the
Yeah,
reality.
you always get treated different in a bad way wherever, even in your own
Exactly.
countries. And there was
But
like, what? I'm the stranger here. You should be more like concerned about
mm,
me than your own people. But
yeah,
yes.
because the reason why I asked you this, when I came here newly, I started working. My coworker asked me, he told me, I heard that in Africa you people sleep in the tree. I said, which tree? Who told you that we sleep on trees? I say people have this, misconcept of Africa is so much that I mean, they go through the media, they just take what media told them. Of course, every country have their bad side, and good side, but when it comes to Africa, they always show the bad side, to the Western people. There are some part of Africa, it's a beautiful city, beautiful people. But now you have built that connection in Africa and Asia, and you have experience. Your experience it taught you that people in Western sometimes misunderstand about this part of the world. So, what is your take on that? You've been to Asia, you've been to Africa. So if you're gonna tell like somebody else who want to travel to Asia to Africa, what will be that one thing you have to tell him or tell her?
So, I mean, I think that it's always good to travel to meet new people
Mm,
because then you get an understanding for things. And also something that's because I was traveling to the least developed countries, meaning that's countries that have sometimes a bad reputation,
mm,
and because they have bad leadership in their country. uh,
yeah.
and then also you're a bit hesitant going there sometimes because you are not sure if it's safe or not. But that's the thing too, that even if the leadership is bad in a country doesn't
Mm,
mean that the people is bad. So
yeah.
it's totally different also,
Different.
that
Exactly.
sometimes you have, like, for we went to Rwanda has a very
Rwanda.
bad
Yeah,
reputation
yeah,
as
yeah.
genocide.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing country. I have a lot of connections still there, working with them. And
Mm,
and it's not the people, it's they have some bad history. Cambodia the same, have a same history.
mm,
Amazing people, everything is great, but they have history that makes you a bit hesitant about, is it safe, can I go there? But
mm,
then also as a tourist you need to, like, if you are a white person in a country with people with other colors, you are
mm,
standing out as a tourist.
yeah.
And of course you have to think about
Of
security.
course, yeah, and be
Like,
careful. Mm.
yeah, so always when I travel, I always use like airport taxi or taxi driver from the hotel, and I have the same driver the whole week. So I know I'm safe. And also, like, the prices, if I go and buy something
Yeah.
in Africa, they will be like
Tourist price.
five times if I go, and if you go, they will give you another price.
Yeah,
So you
that
can still be aware of that, and,
exactly. Yeah,
and
yeah.
love to travel.
That's normally happen in Africa. They always say tourist price, So
Yes.
tourist price and ordinary prices, is quite different. But do you still have that mentality like, okay, I'm going to Africa? Do you have that, thinking, how will I be safe in Africa? Or you just, I'm gonna park my bag. It's a normal route for me. I've been there. I'm used to the people. How do you feel today going to Africa?
I have traveled to Africa by myself a couple of times, to Uganda and Rwanda.
Hmm?
Um, and as I said, I take security measures like with
Yeah.
the taxi driver.
Hmm?
And other than that, I feel safe. I had no incidents when I traveled anywhere. And I mean, safety for women is the same
Yeah, yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
You
yeah. I
don't go with
understand. Mm.
strange men in Stockholm either, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
always
That's
have to
true.
be concerned for your
That's true.
safety as a woman, unfortunately. So I don't see any issues to travel there compared to other places. The places I have been fine.
Fine for you.
Yeah, and
But you,
even. Even
Mm,
like I went to one place in Uganda, like for some tourists, like to view some tourist site,
yeah.
and there was like a bit strange, like there was no people there or something. So my taxi driver even like went out of the car, make sure everything is safe before he
Safe.
left. So
Yeah.
I think they take care of me more actually
Oh,
because I come as a woman myself.
that's
Then
good.
they like check on me and see that I'm safe as well. So yeah.
That's very, very good. You feel safe, going to Africa. But you talk about, you have business in Africa. Do you still run those businesses in Africa, or and what are those business?
No, unfortunately, that one did work out. It
Okay.
was with the software developer, and the app never got finished. But,
Uh-huh.
however, I don't give up. Right now, I'm building my business from Sweden,
Okay.
and I have partnerships in Rwanda
Okay.
with Cinetai. That's a streaming platform for movies. So it will help
Uh-huh.
like independent film creators to get paid for what they
They-
do. So they can put it on
Okay.
Cinetai, and they can like get it
Uh-huh.
streamed. It's like Netflix but
Netflix.
African.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
African Netflix kind of. Yeah,
Okay. What,
uh,
what is the name of the app? I never
Cinetai.
had. I never
No,
heard about it. Uh-huh.
yeah, Cinetai, and the person behind, like the team behind that, they also
Hmm.
have a film and TV school in Kigali in Rwanda.
Uh-huh.
So they created this app because they could see their students didn't get anywhere to use their skills. They didn't get paid for the job. So if they made a film, there's no distribution of it. So
Yeah.
then they made the Cinetai app. So they are, but I think they have some issues with the app. It's not really developing in the
Develop.
pace they
Okay.
want. It's always with funding. It costs a lot to do stuff, and so I think it has slowed down a bit. But I work with them, and also having discussions with some countries about coffee. But I haven't get started with that because also funding.
But yeah,
And
I
now I do
understand.
digital
But
businesses as well.
yeah.
So
Uh-huh. But if the app started working as you people, on plan,
yeah.
do you plan to work with another African countries, like not only, Rwanda and Uganda? Do you plan to work with some West African countries like Gambia, Senegal, or Nigeria, or those countries, because they
For
also
for the
produce
for the for
movies,
the film
movies.
app, yeah, for the film
Yeah.
app, yeah, he has a lot of connections in Africa.
Okay.
He has connections in Nigeria because you have Nollywood
Okay.
there, like in West
Yeah,
Africa.
Hollywood, exactly.
Like they have the big film industry there, so he has connections all over Africa since he's been doing this film and TV school for more than 10 years, maybe 15 by now. He
Okay.
has a lot of connections, and he
Okay.
also
Wow.
even have connections in Asia. So it's not only for African people to put up. Any independent movie
Okay.
maker can put things there. So and he wants, when they get further, the reason I'm involved is because he wanted a European
Mm.
office or connection or branch. So that's why I'm involved in that too.
Wow.
So
That's
we will see
that's
how it goes. Yeah.
that's impressive. That's good. I wish everything works according to plan. But
Yeah.
I mean, here is another one. After working internationally, do you believe development is mainly about money and resources, or is there something deeper than the country need?
I think it's because so I work with business development and intellectual property, and I have
Mhm.
another channel on TikTok where I talked about business, and I have a
Yeah, I
lot of
see.
African business owners actually approaching me there too for
Okay.
advice. And so there's sometimes a mentality among them, or I
Mm.
mean, it's among many business owners, maybe not just African, but that they cannot do anything if they don't have funding. And that's not the truth. And that's also what I want to people that are like, I want to do like a charity organization. I want to help people with, I don't know, I want to have a school or I want to do something. I think that people need to start to think about how can I make it profitable? How can I make it sustainable to run by itself when people
Mm.
are changing the organization they want to fund. If they
Mm-hmm.
disappear to another place, can I still manage to run it?
Mm, yeah.
If I have, so can you put like a business side on it as well? So, and also
Mm-hmm.
the people, like one example, one guy from Kenya I was talking to, he wanted to have advice about his business. He has a
Okay.
safari business,
Safari. Okay.
safari business, and he says he cannot start because he didn't have a car. And I'm like, but do you have any clients to put in the car? He's like, no. So how about, make a cooperation with someone that has a car, that, do a cooperation with a driver, then you don't need a car, you don't have any expenses for the car until you have clients, and then you can
Mm,
make the pricing to cover the cooperation instead of having that cost yourself. So business is about to think like, you can start a lot of businesses for very low cost or free, because you can like start to pre-sell. You can like, and
mm,
if you can't pre-sell, then maybe you cannot sell later either, right? You need to test the market,
yeah. Yeah.
and you can
Exactly.
find operations instead of investing everything yourself. You can do drop
Mm,
shipping instead of having. So it's, I think it's an attitude problem sometimes with a lot of businesses, and
yeah.
especially like Africans, because a lot of them were like wanted funding from me, and I'm like, I'm not doing funding, I don't have the resources right now. I can help you with advice, but they think that if they don't have money they can do nothing.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
agree.
the challenge, the mentality.
I really agree on that with you. Many people believe that if I don't have money, I cannot start business or do what I wanna do. They all stuck on there. I don't have. I want to do business. You have the idea, but I cannot do it because I don't have the money. I think to be honest, we Africa, most of us got that mentality. Without money, I cannot start a business. As you said, you can start it. If you don't have a car, then cooperate with somebody who have a car, and then start running the business, which is a good advice. I mean,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of tourists go to Africa. Do you one day plan to shift to go to tourism and try that part too? Because many Western people travel to Africa for tourism. Do you plan to work with African tourists and culture those like
I haven't planned to work with it, but definitely I have been like, every time I went for work, I did do the tourist stuff too, because you cannot really go to Africa and just not see things, right?
Mm,
So I've been to watch the mountain gorillas in Uganda. I went to
yeah,
Zanzibar. I've seen Victoria Falls
yeah.
in Zambia. So there is like a lot of amazing places and a lot of possibilities. Um, so I haven't really thought about going into the tourist industry myself
Okay.
particularly, but I love travel. And yeah, well, I did want to have like a travel company
Yeah, exactly.
and do like personal traveling experience, like, because
Mhm.
maybe Western people don't feel safe going to Africa. What
Exactly. Yeah. Then
they're gonna
yeah,
have a
we
group. And I
exactly.
used and I used to work with, like, we always had a group of like 25 to 30 people when we travel. So I would
Mhm.
go ahead, I would be there a few days before the group, make sure we had the conference room set up, everyone had their rooms and everything. Because
Mm.
sometimes we didn't have everything when we
I
came.
think I think
So
you should try that business and see how it will work.
I
Because
would
you
love
got the
I would love
experience.
to do that kind of business. So if
Mhm.
anyone wants help to set up something, one of my goals is to get paid to travel. So if anyone wants help with personal to arrange travel somewhere, I'm happy to do it. Just reach out.
Exactly. Exactly. Which is good. I think it's a good business though. Tourism. Because many Western people go to Africa and Asia. So with those kind of connection, it will work. I think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But right now I'm working more with digital business, like business development tools and things like that. So,
Okay.
but travel's definitely one of my passions too. So I would love to do that.
So so I mean, if an African like an immigrant living in Sweden want to start a business and the person is afraid, will I have customers or will people come to me? What will be that advice for them?
If an immigrant in Sweden wants to start a business,
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, that's a lot of immigrants that do that. I mean, I have one friend, she's from Gambia actually. She has a food truck here in Stockholm, or like she has
Okay.
a catering in Stockholm. She's
Mhm.
doing food at different events and stuff like that. So she's running her
Okay.
own business. I have another friend, he's from Ivory Coast.
Okay. Uh-huh.
He has a business installing ventilation on the side
Uh-huh.
on his full-time work. So
Uh-huh.
definitely, I mean, it's no limit that you're. I think they are more likely to start businesses because a lot of people, like my friend from Ivory Coast, they also come
Mhm.
here to make money, to maybe like build capital and maybe move
Mhm.
out from Sweden one day, move back uh, just to
Yeah,
so they just work when they come here, they don't
I
do
know.
anything else.
I
So
because,
so he's one of those.
because the reason why I asked you this, I mean, there are a lot. I know some people, they want to start business, but at the end of the day, for example, when an African come to me, a Gambian, Lamin, I want to start, truck business. What do you think? I mean, most of the response we got from our own brothers, is a negative response. And you will don't get customer. Don't disturb yourself. Nobody will come and buy your things because we too we have that concept. Maybe white people will not come and buy our business. Because we
It's not.
then yeah, we have that concept. Most of them.
Yeah, so with business, it's the offer that's gonna be the challenge. Like you have, if it's a something that the market wants or needs, they're
Hmm?
gonna buy it, and they're not gonna care about if you're white,
Yeah,
black,
exactly.
or Asian or wherever you come from. They don't care. So in business is really about checking like what the market wants, and
Want.
you can always start small, like I said, and also like without any funding. Like if you want to sell something, sell it and have like you will get it delivered in 2 weeks, then you can buy it before you, like you can get the money from the customer and buy it and then give it to the customer, right? So there's
Yeah.
always ways to do business without having much funding, and it's all about the idea, like can you get customers, do anyone want to buy your
Hmm.
service, do anyone want to buy your things, like the products, and if they
Yeah.
do, they will not care who you are, like where you come from.
Exactly.
So if it's
Exactly.
good business, is good business. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. That's very true. But I mean, what is that one thing you wish more people understand about Africa and Asian countries and the people living there?
I think that everyone is the same. Like
Yeah,
it's like
that's
we look
true.
different, and
Yeah.
like people in general has the same. We just want to have like a good life. We want to have our
Mm,
family, our friends. We want to have like a home, food. We have our dreams and goals.
yeah.
Everyone is the same, and that's something when you work international for a long time, you realize that it doesn't really. We may have some, like some people pray one way, we don't pray at all, Swedish people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very like, but it doesn't change the like the core of being a human. Everyone
Mm,
is kind of the same,
yeah.
and it's good people and bad people everywhere. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
that I think it's the
That's
biggest takeaway I had.
that's very. I mean, I have a friend here. He said he want to go to Africa. Which country? I say, and you can go to any country. You will. When you go there, you come and you will tell me the difference. How they will treat you because the concept you have that if I go to Africa, what will people think about me? I told him, bro, if you go to Africa, it's gonna be a different story. You'll be
You're a
loved by
king
people.
there.
Yeah, I told him that you will be loved by people. Kids will be around you. I say, which kids? Do you see kids be around you here? No kids will come around you here. I say in
Yeah.
Africa, kids will like to hang out with you because they see you different. Yeah, they see you. Okay, he's white. It's not rare to see white people in our community. So you will be there as a king or a queen. Kids will be coming around you. Everybody wanna talk to you. Everybody wanna hang out with you. And which he did. And he came, he told me that, I mean, it was a very, very wonderful, experience. I say, this is the concept, I mean, media, they say what they want to say to sell their media. Sometimes, they paint people badly, whilst, they are not. like that, So especially when it comes to Africa, they see us different, They paint us in a different way, which is not right way, but it's media, which is normal. But now, we talk about, you said that you normally do not talk about, racism, right? But recently
No.
you felt you need to use your platform. What changed you? What changed the mind? Like you don't want to talk about.
So uh, we have this issue with racism being a big problem in Sweden. It's raising, it's getting bigger.
Mm,
And with the election coming up, the Swedish Democrats is dividing the people.
yeah.
And also with my experience in traveling a lot of like countries, and I can see like the pattern from other places when you divide the people in different groups. And here in
Mm,
Sweden it's the Muslims that is the problem, they're the cause
yeah.
of everything bad. In the US you have Trump talking about that the Latinos was everything bad, and
Mm,
Hitler had the Jews. So
yeah.
you find, and I can see like the same pattern, the same way of discussing, the same people, and making it about me and them, and who is really Swedish. Is this really being a Swede? Can someone with dark skin be a Swede or not? I mean,
Mm,
who cares? I mean,
yeah.
who cares,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Because as long as people get along, you can work together, and there's not criminals, and
Mm,
who cares? So it's been like, and I realized I have this platform that I used to work. I used to talk about workers' rights, and
yeah.
because I used to
Exactly.
chairman for the trade union, so I have this big
Okay.
platform, and I
Okay.
didn't use it for a few years because I didn't find the business was not good. I didn't make enough money to spend all that time there,
Mm,
so I
mm,
haven't really been active there. And now I realize with the election coming up, if I can make someone, prevent this in some way by informing
mm,
people and making awareness of the issues, I have to use my voice, and speak up. So I decided to do that like a few days ago, and it's crazy because the videos has like almost 30,000 views now to
uh-huh.
one video.
Wow. But
So it's been very.
but normally, Sweden here normally, changes law, there are changes laws and laws there and there, and most of those laws, it affect us as immigrants, right? So what is that important thing? Most of immigrants should be really, really careful and what they should be doing, to avoid, trap on the system. What are the best way, for us to integrate in the society? Because I hear most of people, they say we have to integrate, we need to go to school, we need to learn the language, But sometimes it is hard for some of the people, to integrate in the society, especially when it comes to language. It takes time for them. Is it not right, the government to have to give time to those people? I'm not saying people who do criminal things, I'm not with those people, if because if I come from Gambia, if I come to Sweden, of course I have to obey their laws, I have to obey their rules, I have to integrate in the society, I have to learn the language and fit in the society, which is very, very important because it will help to communicate other people, communicate with people at work or outside work. So what
Hmm.
will be that advice, for immigrants, living in Sweden here? Special now we are living in political era.
I don't think, I mean, to learn the language and to be like more integrated, I think it's important to try to find environments where you
Mhm.
have Swedish people, so you
Yeah,
are around the language, because if you hear it more, it's easier to learn. I know we
yeah,
have the Swedish language courses for people
mhm,
coming here, so
yeah.
usually you can get that for free to start off. And with the Swedish test, I think you get like the paperwork before, right? Because they had it the first time a few weeks ago, like last
For
week.
the national for citizenship, or
Yeah, for citizenship,
yeah, for
yes.
citizenship, they have that law which I think from June 6th, the law came into effect that
Yeah.
anybody who apply for citizenship, you have to go do the exam to test your
Yeah,
language. You know.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I don't know. I don't
crazy.
know. I don't know whether it's that's their law. I respect that. But I, my own view and my opinion is, I tell my friends that really I don't know whether if this exam test is very important. I think the most important thing is if Lamin is living in Sweden without no crime, he's working, he's paying tax, he don't depend on social. I think I think those are the people they really need.
Yeah, it should be enough. It should be enough if you can get a
Yeah,
job, if you can
you are
have
supporting
like a
yourself.
normal life. It's also the way they have set the standard for you have to make at least is it 33,800
Yeah,
or you get deported. And it's very, very bad because it's also, as me as a business owner, I know that a lot of businesses are suffering because of this new law, like
yeah.
especially in the up north. I know that businesses that have people taking care of people, like in the caregivers for
Mm-hmm.
older people, they have to be sent home because they don't have the salary. I
Salary, yeah.
also know that a place in Stockholm, like they have a lot of restaurants, and
Mm-hmm.
half of their staff can be deported because the salary was not high enough.
Yeah,
So what they did was they raised the salary to keep their staff because they don't want to lose everyone working for
yeah,
them, and
exactly.
still they get problems, and still it's difficult to keep the people. Now migration say that no, you did that just to cheat the system. So even if they do comply with that, they
Mm-hmm.
still want to kick out people with jobs that are very important for businesses in Sweden. So
Yeah,
it's not only the people that are getting you know
affected.
affected, it's also businesses in Sweden. It's very bad. It's
Yeah,
I don't agree with that. So I mean, yeah, I think a job is like like if you have a job and you have set, but it depends on why you come here. If you come here for work, you have to have a good salary as well,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. But what will be your that advice? Like, okay, Lamin, I came here new in Sweden. Like you meet somebody who just came new in Sweden here. You meet on the road or somewhere else. What will be your that advice for that one person?
To get integrated or like to
Yeah,
stay
yeah,
here.
to get yeah, how he gonna integrate in the society? What will be your advice for that person?
I have I have no idea. I think like if you want to like get like into the culture and get into the language, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's good to find places where you have Swedish people. Like if you have a special interest, maybe
Mm-hmm.
take like courses or something in that, then you will have a group of people with common interest. Then you can make friends there. If you don't get a job instantly, then that's the way, like finding different like public areas. There's also different events, and you can find people there, I think. So
Yeah, that's
I
good.
think it's not to be scared to talk to people. But Swedish people, you cannot
Yeah,
just go up to
but
someone and talk to
but
us. You
many
need to have
many
like a,
many many immigrants, special African immigrants, I'm gonna talk about African immigrants. That's where I
yeah,
come from.
yeah.
Many people, many people who live in Sweden here believe that it is hard to be a friend with a Swedish. What is the problem?
Yeah, and I know this. I have heard this from many countries, and
Yeah.
like people coming here that Swedes are. So I think that you need to, as I said, you need to connect around something like a common interest. So if you like to go, I don't know, if you like to play
Football.
football, there's Korpen, there's like different teams you can join that are for doing it
Mhm.
for fun, or if you like to do art, you can take like an evening class in artwork or something. Then you meet people with common interests,
Yeah.
and that, I think, is how you can connect with Swedish people, or through the workplace. But like you cannot in Stockholm, if you walk up to someone and say hello, can we be friends, then we will say like, who are you, leave. Right, because that's in our culture. We don't like to be approached by strangers. It's not like it's like anyone. We don't like others
Yeah.
either. It's just in our culture. We don't
Yeah,
approach.
I always tell friends that I say, it's a culture difference,
Yeah,
because if I go to Africa, it's easy for me to, to get friends. That very easy,
yeah,
that's culture different. Them two, this is their culture. We can change that. But to be honest, they are nice people. It's just about they have this culture different. Before to be as friend with Swedes, they really it take time for them to be friends, which is normal, which is okay.
I think there's also organizations that actually work with integration to like have
Okay.
Swedish people to join, and also people that just come here so they can meet and go for coffee and things like that.
Hmm.
So Swedish people that are interested in learning, get to know people from other countries, will join there.
Yeah.
So I think there's organizations for like that here in Sweden too that you could look for. Because I know one of my friends at work, he was in some organization like that. So they would go and have coffee with people that just came here.
Hmm.
So look
That's
for
good.
that. I think so.
Yeah.
There are places to help with
People
integration. Yeah,
integration. Yeah,
and
which is
help
good.
people to meet, because it's a lot of Swedish people that are curious of people that are coming from different countries and want
Yeah,
to
they
like, get
want
to know them, heard the
the
stories.
culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah, which is, yeah, I always tell people, if you travel to another man's country, you really have to follow the rules, the law. You have to educate yourself. You have to find job. That's the system. That's how they build their system. So if you
yeah,
don't want to follow the system, it's gonna affect you personally. So try to integrate. Try to find a job. Try to find few friends which that you people can understand each other. And you want to learn a lot from each other, which is important, you
yeah.
know. But you have experience, both US and Sweden. Do you see races different between these two countries?
So I have been living in the US for like 6 months when I was grown up, and at that time I thought that it was more integrated than here, because it was
Hmm.
more like they're more used to having like there's more black people and more Hispanic people, because I was living in San Diego, so it's close to the Mexican border.
Okay.
So I was like I looked at my have sisters there, their school, like their school picture was, everyone was from different countries. It was not like
Countries
so.
here.
So I felt that it was very integrated, like that there was more like normal. Here it's more new with people coming from different countries. Like
Yeah.
when I was a kid, I grew up in a small town. We had like two adopted people and me. That was all the foreigners in the town when
Hmm.
I was a kid. So,
Wow.
so it's
but
here in Stockholm. It's different. Here,
But
everyone.
really, you have a lot of experience. You have been traveling to Asia. You know about US. You know about Asia. You know about Sweden. Your experience, can teach a lot of people. Especially at your platform on TikTok. I think maybe you try to talk on English too. Many people are here. It's hard for them. The language, they are having this language barrier. So in English they will understand more. There are a lot of Africans here. Still it's hard for. I know many people here. It's hard for them to speak the language. But so in English, it gonna help them. To understand more what you are trying to say, and how to help people around the world. Because a lot of people listen to you.
Yeah, I have on TikTok, I have an international channel too, but
Okay.
I have mainly been using it for like talking about business, and and also it's more like my personality, so it's anything. I have also been singing on live, so it's very like wide. It's not as focused and as this channel where you find me. And I don't know if I'm going to go into talking about like human rights and things like that, but definitely we're talking about. I did talk about it before, just when Trump was elected. I could see all the issues coming with that in the US, so I made a video about that. But in general, it's more about my businesses there.
Okay. So now you want to focus on your business more.
I have to. That's where I make my money.
Yeah,
That's how I support myself. I
yeah,
need to pay my bills, you know. So
that's true.
if I get
That's
paid
true.
to do this, I will do this all day.
Do
But
it. Of
whatever,
course.
brings home the money.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but you mentioned that you want to use your platform before election. Why it is important for you to speak up now?
Because after the election it's going to be too late. I cannot complain and cry about it after the election if I didn't do anything. So, and I think it needs to be a lot of awareness about like the election, that you need to be aware that if you vote for like the Swedish Democrats, they are right wing, they are racist,
Mm,
even if they try to pretend they're not. And if you vote for the right wing parties, all
right.
of them in the cooperation, you support that party. So in this election, I would say there's only like three parties or four that you can vote for that doesn't support the Swedish Democrats.
Okay.
And it's important to be aware about that, especially if you come from another country, because you are sabotaging for yourself, even if you
Mm,
think like. And it really is, it's strange to me that Swedish Democrats have some people from other countries supporting them and working with
them.
them, because they will be affected too.
Yeah. But 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 there are, I think there are some people having this immigrant background, living in Sweden here. They don't know a lot about politics. Maybe they don't know which political party is right for them, which one is not right for them, and many of them will just say, I don't even want to go vote. I don't want to go and vote. And what will be that message for them? Do they have to go and vote, or they just have to relax at home, without voting?
It's important to vote even if you
Mm,
don't know what you want to vote for, because you can
mm.
always file a blank vote, like you can vote for nothing. And if you
Okay,
vote for nothing, then you show the parties that they are not good enough. And
okay.
it will still be like counted in, like in the election, you have like 100% participation in the election, right?
Mm,
And then you have maybe 10% that voted for nobody, which means they don't like the politics and they still use the democratic rights to vote. But if you stay at home, they don't know it, then you're not in that, then you're not protesting about anything. Then
yeah,
you just, you're kind of giving your vote away by not going. So it's very important to vote,
to go
even if you
vote.
don't know what you vote for. And
Hmm.
if you don't know anything or you don't agree with anyone, file a blank vote. But in general, like on the left side is the people that wants to support more, to have better schools, better,
Mm,
for better healthcare. You They are maybe more tax heavy, but they're not gonna really raise the taxes. They don't say that they're gonna raise the taxes for the billionaires, which will not be a problem for me because
mm,
I'm not affected. So they want to like put more money in society so we can have more things for free and more safety net. So that's like the left side. And on the right side, they are more like focused on your own wallet, like you want to have lower taxes, and also now they want to have less immigrants, they want people to go home.
mm,
That's what the right side. So if you are, and if you still like you like think that I want to, keep my own money, it's important, taxes is very important with me, I am a right person, like on the right
mm,
side. There's one party called Centern. They are right party, but they are not
okay.
cooperating with the Swedish Democrats. So if you feel like you're on the like that side, then that's
Mm,
the only option right now. And on the left side, nobody is working with the Swedish
okay.
Democrats, so it's more
Okay.
safe. And the Environment Party, Miljöpartiet, they are also more in the middle, like they are
Middle.
left
Okay.
more middle. So you have like
Yeah.
Vänsterpartiet is very left, and they want like to put a lot of money in, schools and
Mm,
everything. They,
schools.
they
Yeah.
they are more like, but they also are very important to like build society. And then you have Miljöpartiet, that's environment, and then you have Centern. So that's like the scale from left to right. So,
Okay. Wow.
but as an immigrant, I would really avoid the right side. It's election.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
maybe next time it's not going to be the same. But now everyone is working with Swedish Democrats, so
yeah, I know. So it's
mm,
important for them to go and vote. Like we have to vote. It's important.
yes, no matter what you vote for, vote
Go and
because
vote.
yes, yes, it's very important. And you
That's
can
good.
vote. You can vote. They open the voting from, I think it's like some 26th of August or something. So you don't
Hmm.
have to go on the election day. You can go before that, and then
Yeah,
they have it set up usually in libraries. It's set up so just to go there and do it any day before the election or on the
before the
election.
election. Okay. But what experience in life change the way you see people, you know?
The way I see people. So I have an international background myself. I'm born in the US and I grew up in Sweden. So I was the outsider growing up myself, even if I'm white. And even if it was like everyone thought US was very cool when I grew up. So it was like a positive outsider,
Hmm.
right? People like, oh, you have Hollywood, you have. So it was like a positive, but still was standing out in a crowd. I never fit in anywhere. And when I
Yeah.
started to work with international training programs with 14 countries, was actually the first time I felt I fit in because
Yeah.
everyone's different in the room. So now I'm not the different
It's
person because
different.
we have people from 14 countries, 28 people. So I'm not different. I'm one of
No.
everyone, right? So that was one of and I have like a very international family. My dad is American. My sisters are half
Okay.
Lebanese. Their mom is from Lebanon.
Okay.
My uncle, like my cousin, is in Denmark. One of my uncles married a
Okay.
Finnish woman, and yes,
So,
and my cousin is married to a Japanese woman. So we very international families.
oh,
I
your
just
family is
I
international,
can't
you know.
be racist. I can't be.
No, no,
I
no,
would
no,
go
no.
against my family.
Your family is international, you know. But
Yes.
what is that one lesson from your international work that you carry into your personal life that you will never forget?
How do you mean, like in terms
Like
of?
like the lesson you have, maybe you have the lesson you have learned. You have traveled to Asia, you have traveled to to Africa, so what lesson do you learn from your own personal view?
I think it's that I learn a lot of like history and like what's happening and the pattern recognition, like what's bad and what's good, and also as I said before, like everyone's in the end of the day we're just human, right? And also important to learn what has been in history to not repeat the
Yeah,
same mistakes.
yeah, exactly. What could you say to that one person who felt powerless when they see injustice happening around them?
So we cannot influence people around us. We can
Mhm.
only influence how we feel ourselves.
Yeah.
So don't care about other people's opinions. If they have bad opinions about you, it's more about them, it's not about you. As long
Mhm.
as you're a good person and you
Mhm.
treat everyone well, you are doing everything you can already. So if someone doesn't like you, it's their problem, it's not your problem. So
Yeah.
that's I would say is the main takeaway.
Wow, that's very good. I mean, thank you very much. For your time. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I have learned a lot. From you and from your experience. It will help a lot of people. Because most of my audience too are in Sweden here. So I think many people is thinking about going to Asia or Africa, and they have this kind of mentality that what may happen if I go there. I mean, your experience, gonna, give them a good, lesson to learn, and to feel that safety. You can still go to Africa and Asia and enjoy your holiday wherever you wanna go. But these are the rules, and you have to be really careful about yourself. Take care of yourself. Of course, no nobody is perfect. No country is perfect. We all have our bad side and good side. Good people and bad people. We all have that. In different, in any country. which is, we all have to be, I always say people, we are all one people, it's just because I'm black and white, we are all, you know, the same people, living on the same planet.